Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is Chad here with an In the OT podcast for BetHubb Sports Blog. Today, I am extremely worked up and angry at the NHL for not being able to figure out what time the Vancouver Canucks will be playing the Los Angeles Kings for Game 5 of the first round of the playoffs. On Sunday morning, afternoon, night, whenever they finally decide it is. And we all know that the reason for this delay has everything to do with the powers that be, which are the television networks who want to get their picture-perfect schedule put in place as we sit here and have to wait for the final outcomes in the Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Detroit, Nashville games, which are going on as I am currently ranting right now. But you know what? I understand that the TV world wants everything to be perfect, but at what point in time do they sacrifice the integrity of the sport and the game for the players and management, and of course, and most importantly, the fans themselves? Because they have clearly crossed the line with this delay in a decision of what time this game is going to go on, and I'm going to explain exactly why. We are the fans who fuel the sport itself by paying the amount of money we do to go watch these games live, to buy all the merchandise, and of course, to watch the games on TVs, to give them ratings so they can go ahead and turn that around to sell commercials on it. So you would think that they'd have a little bit of respect for people that are trying to plan out their weekends. Now, I understand that the casual person's thinking, hey, what's the big deal? You know, it's a game, you're going to watch it no matter what. No. That's not exactly the attitude you can take here. It's called respecting your customer. And many people have things to do. Not every single person watches every game and is a crazy sports fan like myself. There are casual fans that like to go out at this time of the year. It's springtime, it's almost summer, it's nicer weather. They don't necessarily want to watch 10 hours of hockey all day long. So they need to know in advance if they're having barbecues, inviting friends over, and the longer they delay, it just makes it more of a hassle for everybody else. And that's why, to me, it's an absolute slap in the face for the fans to not be given this in advance notice here. And it's not like they had one day to figure this out. We're talking nearly 48 hours. What on earth could they be sitting there thinking of right now? Are they drawing up 5,000 possibilities? It's just absolutely appalling that it's taken this long. And, I want to talk about it here from the players' perspective as well, because, these players are creatures of habits. They like to know in advance what time the game is. It affects their eating patterns. It affects their sleeping patterns. It affects when they're going to practice. It affects the way the coach has these players prepared, and it's not fair to them. And if you want to put the best product out on the ice for the fans, they should be able to know this in advance, and that is also an absolute insult to the integrity of the game to not know this in advance. Can you please explain to me any other sport in North America that considers themselves the Big Four that would continue on in this amateur fashion to not have this figured out in advance? You would not see it, and there's a reason why the NHL continues to get killed in terms of overall popularity. If they want to take a leap forward and become a popular sport like baseball, basketball, and football, they need to have little things like this figured out well in advance and not be screwing around like this. And, I don't want to hear all the excuses about Coldplay's in town for 2 days. It's thrown things off. You know what? We've already had to deal with the delay from between game 3 and 4 for 2 days. Now you have 3 of it. Whatever. It's part of the sports venues being booked up. There's nothing you can do in LA. The Clippers and the Lakers are also tenants of the building. Coldplay, they told Aquilini they were going to drop some cash and rent out the place. He can't turn that down. He doesn't exactly know when these games are going to be scheduled. So I don't blame the owners at all for trying to make some money there. I blame this on the league because they could have done a better job of scheduling the overall series by starting it on different days. I mean, how is it possible that this was the first series started in the playoffs, but yet will be the last one to have completed 4 games? How is it that this is a featured series in Canada for Hockey Night in Canada, which traditionally is played on Saturday night, and yet there's been not one game played on Saturday night? It's an absolute joke the way this is all going down. And then for them to come out here and say that it's extremely complicated based on what's going on tonight, that is an absolute bogus excuse, because there really aren't that many possibilities to think of. If Pittsburgh and Detroit win, well, then you have 3 games going on that day. So you schedule them in such an order where the networks believe they're going to get a higher rating based on the market. So hypothetically, you can go play the Pittsburgh game at 12 o'clock and play the Detroit game at 3 and then Vancouver at 6 or 7. If one of those 2 teams loses tonight, then you can pick which one's going to be at 12 or 3 and then the other one at 6, or you have both at 12 and 3. And if both lose, then you just pick in advance what time Vancouver's playing it and call it a day. Is it really that hard to come up with those ideas, or at least tell the fans this is what we have in motion emotion based on what's going on tonight instead of keeping everybody on edge about the start time of this game? I mean, what do you need? I mean, it's unbelievable. You'd think with the brains that are in these rooms here, with all the law degrees and business degrees and people making 6 and 7 figure salaries, that they'd be able to come up with this. It is the most mind-boggling, pure, stupid thing I've ever seen when it comes to logistics and scheduling. I'm about to lose my mind. Chad here with an In the OT podcast for Sports Hub, for BetHubb Sports Blog. Keep checking it out. We're going to continue to rant and rave and call out the NHL when they deserve to be.